Hello everyone, I am Mr. Arya. I am from SD Negeri 1 Angkah. On this occasion, I would like to share about the 5W and 1H questions of reading. So, we will be discovering the who, what, when, where, why, and how of every text. So, by learning this topic, at the end of this lesson, you can understand the entire flow of information from simple multimodal text using 5W and 1H questions. 5W and 1H questions help us to find important information in a text. Without any further ado, let's learn how to understand a text easily. Okay, the first one is who. The word who is used to ask about a person or people. In Indonesian, who means siapa. It helps us to know who is doing the action or who is being talked about in a story or in a text. For example, the first example, the question is, who cooks in the kitchen? The answer is, my mother cooks in the kitchen. In this example, we ask about the person who does the action of cooking. The answer tells us the person is my mother. So, my mother is the person who does the action. It means she is the one who cooks. Second example. Question is, who is Mr. Alex? The answer is, Mr. Alex is a teacher. Here, the question who is used to ask about someone's identity or job. The answer explains who Mr. Alex is. He is a teacher. So we use who to find out who the person is or what role he has in the text or in a story. In conclusion, the word who helps us to find the people or characters in a story or in a text. Next is what. The question word what is used to ask about things, activities, or actions. In Indonesian, what means apa. It helps us to know what someone does or what something is. For example number 1. The question is, what does she do in the morning? The answer is, she runs in the morning. In this example, what is used to ask about an activity. We want to know what she does, and the answer tells us that her activity is running. So, what helps us to find out someone's action or routine. Second example. The question is, what is your favorite food? The answer is, my favorite food is meatball. Here, what is used to ask about a thing or an object. In this case, food. The answer tells us the name of the thing, which is meatball. So, what can also be used to ask about things, names, or objects. In short, what helps us to discover what people do or what something is. Next, number 3. Number 3 is where. The question word where is used to ask about a place or location. In bahasa Indonesia, where means di mana. It helps us to know where something happens or where someone is. For example number 1. The question is, where does Arya live? The answer is, Arya lives at Nomad Street number 24. In this example, where is used to ask about the place someone lives. The answer tells us the location, Nomad number 24. So, where helps us to find the address or place in a text. Second example, the question is, where do they camp? The answer is, they camp in the forest. Here, where asks about the location of an activity. The answer shows the place, which is the forest. So, we use where to know where an action happens. In conclusion, where helps us to find the place or setting of an event in a text. Okay, number 4. Number 4 is when. The question word when is used to ask about time. When means kapan in Indonesian. It helps us to find out when something happens or when someone does an activity. For example number 1. The question is, when do you study? The answer is, I study at night. In this example, when is used to ask about the time of studying. The answer tells us the time, which is at night. So, when helps us to know the time of an activity in a text or in a story. Second example. The question is, when do they pray at the temple? The answer is, they pray at the temple at 6 p.m. Here, when is used to ask about the time of an event. The answer gives a specific time, which is 6 p.m. So, when tells us exactly when something happens. In short, when helps us to find the time or moment of an activity or event in the text. Okay, next is why. The question word why is used to ask about reasons or causes. Why means kenapa in bahasa Indonesia. So, why helps us to understand the reason something happens or why someone does something. For example number 1. The question is, why does Rima go to the market? The answer is, because Rima wants to buy vegetables. In this example, why asks for the reason Rima goes to the market. The answer explains her purpose to buy vegetables. So, why helps us to know the purpose or motivation behind an action. The second example. The question is, why are they happy? The answer is, because they win a dancing competition. Here, why asks for the reason they feel happy. The answer tells us the cause or the reason. They win a dancing competition. So, why helps us to understand the reason of a feeling or of an event. In summary, why helps us to find out the reason or the cause of something that happens in a story or in a situation or in a text. The last one is how. How is used to ask about the way, the process, or method. How means bagaimana. How helps us to find out how something happens or how someone does an activity. For example number 1. How does Desi go to school? The answer is, Desi goes to school by bus. In this example, how asks about the way or the method Desi uses to go to school. The answer tells us the way Desi goes to school, which is by bus. So, how helps us to understand the method of the process or the way of doing a process in a text. Second example. the question is, how does she clean the house? The answer is, she sweeps the floor and washes the dishes. Here, how asks about the process or steps of cleaning. The answer explains what she does, which is she sweeps and she washes. So, how helps us to describe the way of an activity is done. How tells us the way or method something happens or something is done in a text. Okay, now I have a few questions regarding the 5W and what H questions. So please listen and read the text carefully. There is a king in a big kingdom. His name is Charles. He lives in a beautiful castle with the queen. Every day, he helps his people by sharing free food. He is kind, and all people love him. The question is, who is Charles? So, we want to know the person's identity or job. From the text, there is a king in a big kingdom. His name is Charles. That sentence tells us that Charles is the king. So, the answer is Charles is a king. The second question, what does the king do every day? So, when we ask what does the king do every day, we want to know what activity the king does every day. From the text, every day he helps his people by sharing free foods. That means the king's daily activity is helping his people. So the answer is he helps his people. The third question, where does the king live? From the text, we can see that he lives in a beautiful castle with the queen. That means the king's home is a beautiful castle. So the answer is he lives in a beautiful castle. The next question is, when does the king help his people? Based on the question, we want to know the time when the king helps his people. As we can see from the text, every day he helps his people by sharing free foods. It means the king helps his people every day. So, the answer is the king helps his people every day. The next question, why do people love the king? From the question, we want to know the reason why people love him. As we can see from the text, he is kind and all people love him. So, the answer is because he is kind. The last question, how does the king help his people? When we ask, how does the king help his people? We want to know the way the king helps his people. From the text, he helps his people by sharing free food. So, the answer is by sharing free food. After you have learned about the 5W and 1H questions, now let's practice. Please listen and read the text carefully. There is a teacher named Mr. Budi. He teaches English at an international school. He helps the students to learn new words and speak in English. He goes to school by motorbike. He always plays football with the student every Sunday? The students like Mr. Budi because he is so kind and patient. The question number 1. Who is Mr. Budi? The answer is C. A teacher. Mr. Budi is a teacher. Question number 2. What does Mr. Budi teach? The answer is A. English. Mr. Budi teaches English. Question number 3. Where does Mr. Budi teach English? The answer is B. At an international school. Mr. Budi teaches English at an international school. Question number 4. When does Mr. Budi play football with the students? The answer is B. Every Sunday. Mr. Budi plays football with the students every Sunday. The question number 5. Why do the students like Mr. Budi? The answer is A. He is so kind and patient. The students like Mr. Budi because he is so kind and patient. The question number 6. How does Mr. Budi go to school? The answer is C. By motorbike. Mr. Budi goes to school by motorbike. That is all about our topic 5W and 1H question. See you next time and have a great day, students. Thank you.